Hey there everybody, CapnMedia here. We're going to be doing a little bit of review of some microphone boom arms today. Microphone boom arms, there's a lot of them out there, so I'm going to grab two that are really popular for streamers. Now streamers are using a lot of the more lighter microphones like the Wave 3 here from Elgato, and some of the boom arm mics are not really equipped properly for a lighter microphone like that. So today we're going to be going through two of the more popular options, which of course are the Blue Compass and the Elgato mic arm. So, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you guys stopping by to check this out. Hopefully this review is going to help you guys if you guys are torn on, which mic arm you should be getting. There are a whole lot of different kind of mic arms out there. There's the ones that are kind of like the old school desk lamps. They have the clamps in the three positions. Spring tension one, gas piston adjusted ones. Some of the more popular ones are the Elgato mic arm and the Blue Compass. So Blue is made by Blue Microphone Company. It is more overly designed for their heavier XLR microphones, but they can be used with their USB microphones as well. And then of course we have the Elgato mic arm. And the Elgato mic arm is designed primarily to be used with their Wave 3 microphone that they have brought out in the last year or so, which is notoriously a light microphone and soon becoming the de facto standard choice for smaller content creators who are trying to step up their audio game. So today's going to be kind of a comparison between these two microphone arms. I have a little bit of a list. We're going to be going through what is the mount, how it actually mounts to the desk, the form factor, the actual microphone mount itself, the joints of the mic arm, and the ease of movement and price. So hopefully these things are going to give you kind of a basic overview as to what you want. And of course, all this comes down to user preference, right? It's whatever you, the end user, really are looking for in a microphone arm. I myself use a Blue Compass, but our good friend the Gourmanator, he bought an Elgato mic arm and he was gracious enough to loan it to us so that way we could give it a bit of a review. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. So we're going to jump right into this and we're going to start off real quick with the mounts. All right guys, so as you can see, I've isolated the two mounts here. One of them is the Elgato microphone arm mount, and this is the Blue Compass microphone arm mount. Now both of these are very similar. They both use a screw type to attach to a desk. The one thing that I did notice is that the Elgato one is a little bit deeper and a little bit wider. So if you can see that there. The Elgato one's a little bit deeper and a little bit wider, so it doesn't get the greatest bite if you have a shallow desk. So if you've got like one of those runners underneath your desk and you can't get a full bite, that may be an issue. That may be something you want to look into. This is a much shallower bite on the Blue Compass, so I would give the edge to the Blue Compass for that because you can get a full bite on a much shallower desk surface. However, there is one thing that I do like about the Elgato one. Let's go ahead and screw this all the way in. So no matter how far in you screw it, if you have this, so this is the front of the desk and this is now going to jut out and jab you in the knee, all you got to do is you pull down on this and you can rotate that out of the way. That is a really cool feature. I really like that. So no matter how tight you have to set it, if this is sticking out and you don't like where it's at, you can just pull it, move it out of the way. I like that. That is something that is missing on the Blue Compass, but the Blue Compass isn't nearly as big of a a screw handle, so it's less of an issue. Me personally, this is over on a filing cabinet sitting next to my desk, so it's not even anywhere close to my knee, but that could be something that could be looked into, which could put this check mark somewhere else. But for me, I'm giving the check mark to the Blue Compass arm. So now we're going to get into the form factor of these. These are very different from the traditional form factor of like a desk lamp, the old springs held onto springs and the pivot point and all that kind of stuff. It is the same idea, it's just executed a little bit different, which allows them to be a little bit more creative with the form factor of these microphone boom arms. So this one right here has its own unique styling. It's very sleek, very nice, as you can see. Not too shabby, moves around, stays put relatively well, but the form factor is very nice, very sleek, very futuristic. As well, that can be stated with the Elgato mic arm, which can also be very sleek. It's much thinner. The Elgato arm is much thinner than the Compass from this viewpoint, but if you turn them sideways, the Blue becomes a little bit more thin and this becomes a chunky boy. So This one is all 100% personal preference. Based on my personal preference, I think this one is a lot sleeker. It's easier to hide it this way. I don't know. My personal preference is going to be going to the Elgato mic arm because I just think it looks a whole lot better. It looks a whole lot more futuristic, which is, you know, sometimes the goal we're looking for. But of course, that's all subjective. So this is subjective. The mount is subjective. I think that the Elgato wins this category. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the actual microphone mount itself. So this microphone mount, as you can see, it has a little bit of a locking thread here, so you can really pinpoint the rotation. You can go 360 degrees. Of course, that would be cord dependent. You can go 360 degrees with this, and then you can lock it down at the position and it's not gonna go anywhere. The main issue I have is that's it. You get 360 degrees and you get a little bit of pivot this way. That's not a big deal, right? I mean, there's a lot of mic arms that's exactly what you get. So I'm gonna unlock this now. Let's unscrew it. Now. Don't drop it. Don't drop the mic, okay. Whew. So now we move over here to the Elgato microphone arm, and the mount on this one is a little bit more robust than the Blue Compass. And I say that because yes, you have the traditional, just like it had, up and down, right? And you can make it go up and down this way, and it can rotate on the axis just like the Blue Compass. However, by loosening this, you can also rotate it this direction. So you can literally put your microphone in any configuration. Let's just go ahead and get this sucker on there. I'll twirly, bring down the locking screw. So that's exactly what I want. And so now instead of just being able to go 360 degrees, I could really rotate it and get it into any position that I see fit for this microphone. It's so much better. It is so much better than the Blue Compass. So the check mark goes to the Elgato microphone arm yet again. So now we're gonna get into the joints. So the joints are what allow the microphone arms to articulate and get into the position that you set them to. We're gonna start with the Blue Compass over here. So Blue has 3 locking thumb screws for the joints. By the way, I should mention that both of these are gas piston assisted. Both have a gas piston. This one has locking screws, the locking thumb screws, in order to keep them in place. This one has a series of spring tension to keep it where you want based on friction. So with the Blue, you have 1 thumb screw down here at the bottom, 1 thumb screw here in the middle joint, and 1 at the top where the microphone hooks up. Over here on the Elgato, none. Not a single thumb screw. So here is the issue, the big issue, and it's really based on what microphone you use and what you're looking to get out of your microphone stand. So with the Blue Compass is a microphone that is a microphone arm that is designed for heavier microphones. So with that in mind, if you try to bring this arm down in this configuration, the minute you let it go, it's going to spring back up because it's expecting the weight of the microphone. I have really cranked down on these. It tells you not to use pliers to do so. I have done so before to no avail. I even went as far as following the instructions and loosening this set screw all the way 0, so that way it is the lowest tension possible, and that still doesn't fix it. So some of the issues, and it depends on the extreme angles that you use on the Blue Compass. So here, it stays kind of in place where I want it to stay. But as you can see, if I change the angle a little bit, like this, it starts raising itself. So if I really wanted this to be right here, right in front of me, I want it to be right here, right? This is where I want the microphone to be. It's not going to stay put because it's expecting something heavier. The fix to that is you can get some wheel stick-on weights and you can put it on top of this to kind of counterbalance that. But that's a little bit more of a hassle and something else you're going to have to buy. So I want you to keep that in mind. If we move this over to the Elgato, that's good enough. We'll just lock it down. Let's say this is where we wanted to. We'll put it in the same configuration where the microphone is upside down. And we wanted this to be exactly where I just had it. That's it. A little higher, no big deal. You want it to be a little bit lower, bring this microphone up. No big deal, bring it back, move it, bring it towards you. towards you guys, the microphone just stays. It just stays. There is a way to adjust the tension, but so far, I'm assuming that Gorman hasn't touched the tension. There's no requirement for if you're gonna use a Wave 3 or a Wave 1 microphone, there's no tension adjustment required for this. It's just gonna work right out of the box. I do prefer this over the Blue Compass. The Blue Compass is for a heavier microphone. Not to mention, there's a cool little feature. If you get a microphone that's even lighter than this, and this has a hard time staying in place, Elgato includes a weight. So this little weight would slip over. This little weight would slip over the collar right here. So all you would have to do, there's a little pin, and you will just line it up over top of this, get the pin installed, push down, and now you have the proper weight. You can see it's much heavier now. So it would stay in place. But for the Elgato Wave 3 microphones and the Wave 1 microphones, this is good to go out of the box. I really, 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 really like it. So check mark goes to the Elgato mic arm for joints. So very similarly, ease of movement. Both of these are very easy to move. I like both of these. They move real easy. But again, we're gonna come back to this will not stay where you want it to if you're using a USB microphone. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like it. I don't like that it does. I don't like that you have to weigh this microphone arm down just to get it to work properly. And I know there's a lot of microphone arms that work like that, but a lot of people are streamers. They're not tech gurus, right? They're not audiophiles. They're not people who know all these kinds of things. They look on Amazon and they're like, hey, I want a microphone arm. Boom, that's the one. They get it and they're like, why does it do that? Like, well, you got to counterbalance it. You got to get counterweights. You got to tape stuff onto it. They just don't know that kind of stuff. They want to set it and forget it and be easy. The Blue Compass doesn't give you that ability. It's not easy. It's something that you're going to have to tweak. You're going to have to mess with, and you're going to not touch it. If it's temperamental, if you have a lighter microphone, you're going to have to do a lot of engineering to get it to stay exactly where you want it to be. Whereas you get this, and out of the box, it's going to be good to go. So for ease of movement, Elgato microphone arm wins again. The last category is going to come down to price. So both of these arms are readily available on Amazon. They're available on a multitude of reseller sites. You can find them almost anywhere that you would buy anything for computers or audio work. This one, as the making of this video, this Blue Compass is going to run you $89 on Amazon, and this Elgato microphone arm is going to run you $99 on Amazon.com. So we got about a $10 difference. But I think that $10 is much better invested in the Elgato microphone arm because you're going to get a whole lot more features that are suitable for a streamer, and especially in the positioning that you want to put your microphone at. It's just going to be a whole lot better money spent on something like this. But for this comparison, there's a couple of other features that they both kind of have. They've just executed a little bit differently. They both, again, they're gas piston assisted, so they're very quiet. There's not a whole need for springs, and you hear a whole bunch of stuff like that. So isolators aren't necessarily needed for your microphone. They both have cable management. So the cable management on the Blue Compass is these little tabs here that you would open up, and you just stuff your cables down here in the raceway, and then you close these tabs up. Whereas on the Elgato, it's this like almost weather stripping material. You pull out, you run your cable in, and you can either zip this back down, right? You can either slide it back down or you can pop it back in. So you can either slide it out, run your cable, and then you just line your cable thing up here, and you just push, and that will also lock all your cables in as well. So guys, I hope you enjoy the content. I think you guys can tell just based on the tick marks that we have that there is a clear winner, and that clear winner is the Elgato microphone arm. It is just so much better. Again, this is the one I've been using. I've been using the Blue Compass for quite a while, and I haven't really had any complaints or issues with it because I have had nothing to compare it to except for one of the cheaper Amazon microphone arms that comes with the microphones that you see, the $60 deals. And those aren't terrible, but you will get tired of dealing with them after a while. They start losing their friction when you start messing with the thumb knob. So I upgraded to this, and it's been really stellar, with the exception of having to kind of just adjust how I stream with the microphone. And I haven't had a complaint with it until Gorman brought this over to my house, and this is just, in my opinion, of course, this is the better microphone arm in every way, shape, and form. Ease of use. It does cost $10 more. I think it's $10 well spent. It's well invested money into your stream or into your content if you're doing videos. This is just a much better boom arm for the money. It's really easy to use. It stays in place. You don't have to struggle with it or fight with it. It just puts the microphone exactly where you need it to be. So in my opinion, this is the microphone arm you should be getting instead of this. So I really appreciate everybody coming by. If you would please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that way you can be notified whenever I have new content coming down the pipe. And until I see you guys next time, game on.